My client paid $162,000 below the valuation of her resale condo. She came to me after months of searching on her own and not being able to find anything that felt right. She was a first-time private property buyer and she had a clear move-in timeline. And the negotiation she had to go through against a seller agent who was one of the most difficult I've encountered in my whole career. And that would have broken most buyers. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what happened, what I did, what I told her to do, and what the result was. Because if you're looking for a property right now, whether it's for the first time or not, what happened in this case study can happen for you too. She came to me through a mutual friend, and the first thing she told me was she'd been looking for a long time. Not weeks, months. She'd been to viewings, she'd done her research, she knew exactly what she wanted, but she just couldn't find it. And every time she thought she was close, something didn't feel right. The unit, the price, the timing. That feeling of being stuck, I've seen it more times than I can count. The property market is not short of options. What's missing is usually not the property, but the clarity on what you're actually looking for. And someone who can cut through everything and say, this one makes sense for you, this one doesn't. When we first met, I asked her 3 questions. What's your real budget? Not the comfortable number, but the actual ceiling. What's your move-in timeline? The hard deadline, not the ideal one. And what are you willing to compromise on? And what are you not? These 3 answers tell me more than any number of viewings. Based on everything she told me, I came back to her with a shortlist. Not 20 options, a shortlist. Because when you give someone 20 options, you're not helping them. You're just shifting the confusion back to them. The area I recommended matched the timeline, her budget ceiling, and her non-negotiables. Finding the right location for a specific buyer profile isn't what I struggle with. It's what I spent years building the instinct for. The harder part was about to come. That was the development that she responded to immediately. And that's when things got complicated. In the development she liked, 2 units on the same stack were available at the same time. Same view, same layout, just 1 floor apart. She preferred the lower floor unit. The reason was practical. The timeline fit her move-in deadline. The upper floor unit was also available, but the timeline didn't fit her. So we went after the lower floor unit. The seller agent was not easy to deal with. I'm going to be very honest with you. Rude, arrogant, not accommodating. The kind of agent that make negotiation feel like a confrontation rather than a conversation. I've dealt with agents like this before. And from the first exchange, I knew this was going to be a slow process. So I told her exactly that. I said, this is going to take time, and I need you to be patient. She trusted me, and she waited. While in the middle of negotiating, a 3rd unit appeared. 1 floor below the unit she wanted. Lower price, but there's a catch. It was tenanted, and the tenant's timeline pushed her move-in date way past what she needed. I brought it to her immediately. My job isn't to filter out options that are inconvenient. It is to make sure she has seen everything available and made a conscious choice. She looked at it, she considered it, and she said, I still want the first one. So we pushed on. 2 months. That's how long this negotiation took. And I want to be transparent with you what this actually means. Because negotiation is a word that agents use loosely. This wasn't one phone call and a counter offer. This was sustained, deliberate pressure over 8 weeks. Here's what I understand about negotiation that most people don't. The side that's willing to be more patient almost always wins. The seller's agent was arrogant because he thought the buyer would blink first. And my job was to make sure we didn't. Every round, I told her where we stood. Every counter, I explained to her my read of the seller's position, not just what they said, but what it meant. Is this a hard no, or is this a position? There's a difference. And reading that difference comes from experience, not from a script. I also kept an eye on the market around her target unit during this period. What are comparable units transacting at? Was the valuation we were working from still the right benchmark? Was the seller's position strengthening or weakening? These are the questions running in the background of every negotiation. And the answers shaped every move we make. There were moments in the 2 months I could feel the seller side starting to shift. Not in what they said, in how long it took them to respond, in the tone of their counter offers, in what they stopped pushing back on. That's information. And when you know how to read it, you know when to push and when to hold. We helped, we pushed, we helped, and the seller moved. She bought the unit she wanted, on the floor she wanted, on the timeline she needed, at $162,000 below valuation. That number is not luck. It's not a coincidence. It's the result of 2 months of sustained negotiation, correct positioning, and a buyer who had the patience and the trust to let the process play out. If she had buckled after the first month, if she let the seller's arrogance wear her down, or decided that the process was too slow, she would have either paid more or walked away from a unit that she genuinely wanted. The $162,000 she saved will not appear in any marketing brochure, and it will not appear in any developer sales pitch, because that was created entirely through the negotiation. And this is where your agent either earns your trust or loses it. I want to talk to you directly for a moment, because I think there's a question behind every property search that nobody says out loud. The question is, do I actually need an agent? Can't I just do this myself? And the honest answer is, you can search for a property yourself, you can view the units yourself, and you can make an offer yourself. But can you negotiate $50,000, $100,000 or even $200,000 off the asking price of a resale condo against a seller's agent who has done this 1,000 times and who is not interested in your budget, your timeline, and your feelings? Now that's a different question. I spent close to 9 years in my previous job in an analytical role. I'm trained to read situations, not react to them, and to hold positions under pressure, to know the difference between the threat and the bluff. And I brought every one of those instincts into this negotiation and every other negotiations I run for my clients. I'm not the agent who tells you what you want to hear. I'm the agent who tells you what the situation actually is and then fights for the best possible outcome within that reality. This client is a first-time private property buyer. She had never been through this before, and she walked away with more in her pocket than what she would have without the right representation. That is what I do. If you're looking for a property right now, be it first-time buyer or upgrader, and you want someone who will fight for your number and not just find you a unit, WhatsApp me at 98899 Type upgrade when you message me and I'll get back to you personally. If this story helped you understand what the right representation looks like, subscribe. I post a new video every week. And if you know someone who's been going around in circles in their property search, send them this video. It might actually be what they needed to see. Analyze first and move smart with Kenny.